We'd like to thank Sandalige for giving us this amazing space. We'll show you how to subscribe to our channels from the links that are shared below, and also how to visit the website of Sandalige and see some of the products that they have, and how you can visit their showroom and see the amazing products that they have.
After 2 weeks, Yvonne, this lady calls me. Kunipigia kaniambia, hey, your guy yule mwenye uko proud of ameniambukiza ukimwi. And I was like, what? Mimi nikaona, maybe this lady ananipatia hizi information ndo nimwache ule jamaa, you know. Mimi sikuichukulia serious. Next month in August, I met this pastor. Tulikuwa tunakaa na yeye. Plot ya kwanza nilikaa Machakos. So alikuwa anamuona my guy akikuja ana visit anaenda. This pastor was telling her wife every now and then, nitie msichana nataka kumwombea. Mimi nakataa. So we met in a boutique akinunulia bibi yake manguo. And then he asked me, how have you been? How is life? And I told him that life has not been easy. Akaniambia najua. I knew everything, even wakati nikikuita nilikuwa nishaona kila kitu. But wewe ukajifanya mjuaji. Because ningekusaidia hata before upate hiyo mimba. Nikamuuliza, what is it? What did you see? Akaniambia fanya hivi, toka kazini nipigie simu. Tuongee jioni. Nikachukua namba yake, Baba Michelle, anaitwa Baba Michelle. Tukakutana kwa hoteli na Baba Michelle. Tulipokutana, tukaitisha coffee tukunywe, na akaanza kuninarratea life yangu. Akaanza kuninarratea life mpaka ya nyumbani. And so, most of the things he was saying were true.
How is he finding out these things?
I don't know. I think, you know, God uses people differently. There are those people when wanapatiwa a spirit of discernment.
Yes.
So akikuangalia hivi, kuna mtu akona uwezo kukuambia
this is
about your life.
Yeah.
And that
and
is
at this point ulikuwa kwa marriage for how long?
That was my fifth year. No. Yeah, 6th year. Okay. 2017 was my 6th year. And now anaanza kunarratea ananiambia about my mom, how she's prayerful about our family setup. Akakuja akafikia sasa kwa my husband. Akanambia, this guy is in a cult. And he wanted to sacrifice your baby. And that's why you've been struggling. Hata kupata huyu mtoto imekuwa ngumu because how did it happen ukazaa na CS? Kwani hakuna mtu amezaa na CS? How did it happen? Ametoroka 9 months anakuja, the last month alikuwa amekuja kufanya. You see, those logistics venye anazi explain
zina make sense.
Akaniambia, and do you know this guy, wakati unaendanga una travel unaenda kama nyumbani kwenu or you go somewhere, this guy alikuwa analalisha mpaka maids in a matrimonial bed. Do you know this man, even the money alikuwa anakuonyesha konazo kwa accounts. I remember that time akinipeleka kwa KCB ATM akinionyesha pesa zenye konazo. I saw 10 million in that account. Do you know, he told me this money, it was si pesa, ni mapepo yenye amepewa akipeana sacrifice. I didn't even understand. And mimi sasa naona watu wanani confuse. These people are confused. The lady is confusing me. This guy is also confusing me.
Are you confronting your husband about this?
When the lady called me, nilimuuliza. Akaniambia, no, huyo ni mtu ananiharibia tu jina. But all along, kumbuka, hatukuwa tumeenda mpaka test. Because mimi tuliingia kwa relationship na tukaanza tu relationship.
Hata mkapata pregnancy.
Tukapata pregnancy. So wakati wote nikimwambia tukapime, yeye alikuwa ananiambia kama umepima uko sawa. I'm as clean as cotton wool. That is the word that he used to use. And you know, tukiamka tukitaka kuondoka, this pastor told me, sit down a while. There's something the Holy Spirit is telling me. Akaniambia, this guy is HIV positive. This guy is HIV positive. If you're not careful, na hata sikuwa careful, either ameshakuambukiza ama atakuambukiza. Nikamwambia kuniambukiza bado, si niko na mtoto na naenda clinic kila siku. And so he told me, then kama hajakuambukiza, it is the right time you quit that marriage as soon as possible. Mimi sikuharibi ndoa. Holy Spirit doesn't lie. How did I know this? Nikamwambia, in fact, there's a lady who called me just the other day
And said the same
and
thing.
said the same thing. And so he told me, I'm ready to help you. Kama ni pesa hauna, kama ni nini hauna, I will help. At that point, I was just shaking. HIV in my home,
Not you.
with the closest person, I'm calling my husband. It can't be true.
How did you eventually find out?
So now, we went home. I went home, and he was still away that time. Now after a month, he came back. When he came back, I started noticing some changes. He had lost some good number of kgs, and I could see some rashes
On his skin.
in his skin, on his skin, I mean. And I asked him, what is happening? You're losing weight. What are these things I'm seeing? And he said, what? I've been having ulcers. I'm not eating well. And I've been on medication. I'm also having high protein level in the body. And I went to see the doctor. And the doctor said I should take some medication. Alikuwa nakunywa katembe kingine kadogo ambako nikamuuliza kananiambia ni aspirin. And so time went on. Nikafutilia mbali. Now we continued with life. Now in December 2017, something happened. I had no money to pay rent. And so nikamwambia nisaidie na 4,000 niongezee rent. Akaniambia yana pesa. Kawaida yake ilikuwa anaenda na kunywa, anarudi. So alipo nikataza pesa, mimi nikaamua kuchukua ile 4,000. Na nilipochukua ile 4,000, kesho yake asubuhi akaamka, akapata hiyo 4,000 haiko. And he literally abused me. Even I was abused. Nirudishe hiyo pesa ama nitauawa. So nakumbuka nilikuwa tumeenda, ilikuwa ni memorial service ya one of my customers, alikuwa amepoteza nini? Amepoteza bwanake. Nikaanza kuangalia msalaba wa Yesu pale mbele, imewekwa pale mbele. Na nikamuuliza maswali nyingi sana. Nikamuuliza Mungu maswali nyingi sana. Na nikaamua nikitoka kwa hiyo service, nitaenda niweke the 4,000 into M-Pesa na nimrudishie. And that's what I did. Na ikafika, nikaenda nikamwekea pesa yake. Na niliporudi nyumbani jioni, hakuwa. He had gone drinking as usual. I kept on calling him usiku yote, hakuwa anashika simu zangu. So he came back home at 3 a.m. Alipofika, nikamfungulia mlango. He was bloody all over.
What had happened?
He was beaten. Alikuwa amenyang'anywa kila kitu. Imepotea. Akaniambia nimepoteza my 40,000. My wallet is gone, my phones are gone. Pesa zote zimeenda. And he was like, no, I cannot lose my things like that. Nitatafuta hata kama ni mganga, nitaenda, I will recover my things. And the following day, alitafuta mpaka namba za waganga zenye zimebandikwa huku kote. Akaanza kupiga namba huko kote, akapata mtu mmoja akamwambia, yes, we can help you recover your money. And because I don't know whether I was lani hata sielewi, it is kukua naive, ni kurogwa, sielewi. He told me, take me to that man.
You actually did?
I actually did. I walked with him. Tukaenda mpaka hiyo place hiyo jamaa alikuja akatuchukua hapo stage. We went, tukaingizwa kwa nyumba, very dark room. Kufika hapo, the guy said, you have to give me 10,000 first for me to help you recover your things. And so akamwambia, mimi sina pesa, nimeshaibiwa, help me recover the money so that I can pay you. So the guy said, lazima ulipe. So mimi nikaogopa, nikamwambia, please let's leave here, I cannot stay here anymore. So tukaondoka, tukaenda. Hiyo ikaisha hivyo.
So at what point did you discover that your size ni ex-husband wako?
Yeah.
At that point uli discover ako positive. Vipi, ulifanya nini ndio ujue?
Sasa tulikuwa tumetoka kwao nyumbani December. And because I had cried a lot, nikikumbuka venye nilikuwa napigwa, nikikumbuka mateso alikuwa amenipitisha, and I told God enough is enough. And in the mood of prayer, a voice talked to me, and I was told, you have to go and buy HIV test kits, because he has been avoiding going to the hospital. Then why can't you bring them home? And that was a good idea. In fact, I called one of my friends who is working at a clinic, a certain clinic, and he brought the kits for me. He brought 6 kits for me. When I arrived home, I took 2, one for me and one for my son, and we tested, and we were negative. Then once he came in on 14th of February. I had planned now to test with him. We had forgotten for about a week, but later on I remembered I have the test kits. So one day I just get into the bedroom and I come with the kits. He is sitting on the couch, and I told him that we have to know our status. 6 years down the line, it's a long period without knowing your status. And he was a little bit shocked at first, but finally akakubali. I think aliona hakuna option. So I remember zilikuwa zimebaki now 4 na tusindano tulikuwa tumewekwa 3. So remember I used one on my son, one on myself, ikabaki moja. So nikachukua, nikamdunga na nikaipanguza, nikajidunga.
Uko unaogopa mamake? Ama hata expect kama
I was not expecting kuna kitu mbaya itatokea. So it's just a formality, you know. Me, I was just confirming my fears. So nilipodunga nikaeka damu yake na nikaeka yangu. He walked to the washroom straight away. Then mimi nikaamua acha niingie jikoni nioshe vyombo. Ndio niangalie matokeo. So after 15 minutes nimemaliza kuosha vyombo, nimerudi. I came to check now the results. And shock on me, his kit had 2 lines. My kit had 1 line.
So which means his is positive and yours is
positive. Mine is negative. Yvonne, I didn't breathe. I don't know. I was like, can I die right now? My mind, I mean, what was going in my mind? What about my son? I'm going to die. You know, we've been sleeping with this guy. Even yesterday we did. So if it is a recent infection, I'm in for it. And so I decided if I turn positive, I'll kill my son. I'm not going to leave my son in this world alone. I'm not going to leave him here. So I rushed to the washroom and I knocked the door. I told him, please come here and explain to me what is happening. Why is your kid having 2 lines and mine is having 1 line? What is happening? And the guy is not short. He moves out slowly. I don't know, I'm having constipation. My stomach is not okay. And he's like, I think your kids are not good. They're fault. You need to bring other kids. I told him, I still have an extra one. We can go for another test. And he said, that's fine. Let's go out for another test. The same needle. I wipe it again and we use it. We test and no difference. Still inakuja positive, inakuja negative. And he was like he was just reluctant. Hakuna kitu yeye ilimshtua. Mimi naafa na stress. Natamani kifo. Natamani tu, yani I don't want to exist anymore. Because now I knew I was positive. Definitely I will turn positive with time. And now I told him now that you don't want to trust my kids. Why can't we go to the hospital? We need to confirm from a doctor. Yeah. And he told me it's okay, we will organize to go to the hospital. That particular week, he used to wake up every morning and he will go to Nairobi. He say, I'm following up on customers. They have not paid my money. I don't know what. We will organize, we go. A whole 1 week is gone. So when he arrives at Nairobi, he will send a picture of a negative kit. He tells me, I've gone to this hospital and I'm negative. I told him, I don't want you going alone. I want us to go, the 2 of us, to confirm, because I'm shocked. And so after 1 week, I remember I was not sleeping because of depression. I was going to work, I couldn't work. I was taking a lot of Piritones. I could not eat. I was surviving on fruits. I remember finally he accepted. We go to see a doctor, and we went to Machakos level 5. That is where we went. I explained everything to the visitee attendant, and I remember I had tested there twice. So this guy knew me, and he asked me, "Today you've come with your husband?" I said yes. So I explained everything, and they said there are cases of discordant couple, and we are going to confirm that shortly.
Yeah.
So this guy tells the attendant, "You need to do counseling first." The counseling was done on us, and they now tested. And Yvonne, nothing changed. The first test came out positive, negative. And they said we need to confirm. So they bring a different person with different kids. And we confirmed again, nothing changes. He's positive, I'm negative. And now here I'm now totally stressed again. What is happening? Am I going to change? My status is going to change? Is it going to change? Am I going to be negative? Am I going to be positive? I'm confused. And so he talks to me. "I'm sorry, my dear. I don't know what happened. I don't know, somebody beat me here. Another one alinikata na kinyozi. I can't tell at what point ilinishika." Like, seriously? So akaulizwa, have you started medication? Akasema no. Akaambwa, then can you go and start medication, take drugs? He said no. He said no, I'm waiting to know her status first. I don't know why he was waiting to know my status first. So this attendant told me that after 2 weeks I can go to Aga Khan Hospital and do a test called ELISA test. That is conclusive after it is. I mean, it is so detailed. Within 2 weeks, it can detect. And so waiting for the 2 weeks was not easy enough. You know what I mean? It was not easy enough. But finally, 2 weeks were here, and I went to Aga Khan, and I gave my sample, my blood sample. I remember I gave it the blood sample. I paid 5,000, but going back to pick the results was not easy for me. I could go, reach the door, then go back again. Because I don't want to imagine going to pick the results and I turn positive. I would just die. For one, I don't like taking drugs. So I knew I cannot afford taking drugs. I know nitakufa tu haraka. That was my mentality. So finally nilijipatia nguvu. I entered Aga Khan and I collected my results. Thanks to God. Thanks to God. My doctor declared that I'm still HIV negative. Thanks to God.
How was your marriage after this incident?
It was not marriage again. It was not easy.
Is this the point where you walked out?
This is the point I made up my mind. Now I sat down, remembered the incidences where I was literally beaten. And the most painful part was 2 incidences where I was beaten in public. With my friends. Actually, I was beaten with my friends. In public, not even in the house, in public where I'm meeting my customers, I'm meeting people that know me very well. This is a person that has not been responsible. He has never been a responsible dad. He has never been there for us. I didn't quit because he was HIV positive. No, I didn't. I decided to quit just to end the trouble that I was experiencing, the problems that I had gone through. Nilisema, enough is enough. And I remember I had not talked to anybody about this secret. At that point I called my friend. Rafiki tulipigwa na yeye wakati moja, tulikuwa tumeenda my birthday. Alipigwa mpaka kaumizwa masikio. The same guy. Nikampigia na nikamwambia, I have something I need to share with you. And she told me, you can see me in the evening. Because actually after alipigwa, tukiwa kwa birthday yangu, aliniambia mimi sitaki kukukaribia. Urafiki wetu umeisha. Because bwanako ni hatari. So when I went, I asked her about, because she is also a nurse, I asked her about, can you tell me about this test? Do you think it will change? Because the doctors were telling me after 3 months
You read.
retest. We cannot declare you are negative after maybe 3 months ndio tutaweza kukuambia uko negative. Akaniambia, the lady told me the test is okay. Hii huwa after 2 weeks haiwezi bandilika. The chances za kubandilika iko
Very
minimum,
slim.
very slim. And so I had faith. I had faith. And I remember from that point, I started talking with God one-on-one, and I told God, if for sure, God, you know, I've tried to take care of myself. You know, I've done my best to fight for this marriage. You know, I wanted a family. But mali imefika. Enough is enough. Naomba tu kitu moja. I went even to a point of promising God things, big things. I told God, if you spare me, if you just spare me, yani nisikue tu positive. God, my life is yours. Whatever you want me to do, I will do. Whatever you want me to do, God, I will do. And for sure, God had me. I decided to quit. I decided to escape. So one day, I call my house girl and I tell her, notify me when the guy is gone and pack my clothes and a little bit for my son. And that's how we disappeared from Machakos. And with the kindness that I have, I'm a very, I have a lot of sympathy and empathy. Nikafikiria na nikaona sitamfungia nyumba. So alikuwa ametoka kaenda town. Na nikaregesha mlango na nikaeka taa on, so that he can get a place to come and sleep. Na tukaenda, nikiwa hapo sijui naenda wapi. I don't know where I'm going to sleep. My friends, what I'm calling them, hakuna mtu anataka kuniona kwake because they know he's a violent guy. He will come for us there with my son. No, my friends wote wakakataa, wakasema we don't want to see you I don't want to see you here. All of them said that. And when I'm stranded, a client calls me who wanted some service. She calls me and she says, Damaris, where are you? I need some service. There's a letter I need from you. And I told her, Irene, she's a police officer. I told Irene, let's not talk about the letter. I need you here. Please come and pick us. We are in danger. And she came. She came and directed her where I was. Erin came and picked us with her car. She had a car. At that point, I had talked with my sister. My sister told me that I should go to Mombasa now. And we went and slept at Irene's place. She accommodated us. So the following day, Irene akatupeleka stage ya Mombasa, Makutano. Na akatuweka kwa gari. I cried from Makutano to Mombasa. I cried. I looked at my son. I was holding my son. It was not easy. It was not easy road. I arrived at Mombasa. My sister and her husband wakatuchukua, wakatupeleka kwao. Na kutupeleka kwao, my sister didn't believe I'm negative. She didn't believe I'm negative. So she took me to a visit at Shazu prison. Shimolatewa. There was a visit there. There was a friend of ours who was working there. So I was tested again. I turned negative. But the nurse also told me to come back again after 3 months. It was not easy. Everybody kept on telling me after 3 months, after 3 months. I was not sure about my life. I lost my self-esteem. I saw myself walking dead. Depression was killing me. I was diarrheaing. I could feel a lot of pain on my shoulders. I hated myself. I hated life.
So thanks to God, we looked for a transfer, and I got a friend whom we swapped. She went to Machakos, and I stayed at a branch here. And so every month I used to go for retesting. Every month I used to go to Aga Khan, I used to go to Jocham Hospital. Every VCT that I find on my way, I could pop in. I was dying with depression. Ulcers, I was treating them daily. I've taken, every time I go to the hospital, I test positive for ulcers. Niliisha, nikakonda, nikakuwa mweusi. Sijielewi tena. I'm not the Damaris that I was. I wished death could take me away. So I was starting life afresh. Remember, I don't have money. I have a course to clear in Nairobi University. Payslip imenyongwa na loan yenye nimechukua ya kulipa fees. Nobody could understand what I'm going through. Not even my friends, not even my family. But one thing I want to thank my family, they took me back. My family hawakuniachilia. So when I told them about the story, my mom didn't alter even a word. She told me, you are still my daughter. She told me, welcome back home. And she told me, it is well, we should thank God you are good. I can't even explain the love my sister showed me. Alikuwa ananisaidia mpaka na pesa za chakula. Nilikuwa hali mbaya. Na tukaanza chini. My sister bought me a mattress. I got a house. Nikaanza kulala chini. I took my son home that time. My parents and my sister-in-law, have a very amazing sister-in-law. She took care of my baby. I don't know what to pay. I mean, my family imesimama na mimi. So they took care of my son. After 6 months, I went for him. I couldn't stay without him. Nikasema chenye ninakula atakula. Shida nitapata, tutapata na yeye pamoja. This boy is very strong. He doesn't want to see me crying even a little. Akiona ninamwaga machozi, ananiambia, "Mom, please don't cry. Don't cry." He will just start crying with me. So I was avoiding crying. For that period, nilikuwa nalia na ndani. I realized I didn't get time to share. I mean, to show, to cry ile uchungu utoke. Ndio mtoto wangu asione ile weakness ya kulia. Na sikutaka pia yeye ajue kuna kitu inaendelea katika maisha yetu.
Kwa wakati huu ulikuwa na communication na your ex?
My ex kept on threatening me. Even up to now, he keeps on writing messages to me. He threatened me that he is coming for me and my son, and he kept on telling us that he's going to kill us. So anytime I was walking carefully. I had made statements in the police station several times, even when I was in Machakos, because he kept on threatening and threatening. But the police, I mean, at the police station, nothing could happen. They could tell you those are marital issues, go and solve them. Nothing. Nobody helped me. So I decided to get a lawyer. We got a lawyer who wrote to him a letter and then took a file to the court. And he also took another file to the children's department, and he was warned not to come closer to us. And in case of anything, whatever happens to us is going to be, yeah.
Okay.
And so he kept distance, but the messages are still coming even up to now, threatening me.
And then, meanwhile, in your life, at what point are you right now?
It was not easy for the last, let me say, for 3 years. I was in denial. I still kept on thinking that my status will change. And I thank God, because in 2020 now I started realizing myself. I started accepting and saying God has really done a lot to me. And instead of crying because of a bad relationship, I should start thanking God because he has really done it for me. And so I sat down, talked to myself and said, I want to go back to the Damaris that I knew when I was a young girl. A very bold girl, a very God-fearing girl, and a girl who was ready to serve God. I want to go back to that person. Because I now realized why I've been going through this trouble. I think God wanted me to learn something and learn that He's still holding her to me, even at the darkest moment of my life. God never let me down. And I said, because He has not let me down, let me also hold on to Him. So I changed my life all of a sudden. I said, I'm not going to take drugs anymore. I'm not going to take drugs for ulcers anymore. I changed my life. I came closer to God. God started using me. I started singing. I started inspiring people. I started sharing out my story. And whenever I share the story, people are getting inspired. People are getting healing through that story. And somebody could come and tell you, I'm going through this and this. And when I share my story, they'll say, I think I've not gone through even a little, half of what you've gone, an inch of what you've gone. And it is encouraging. So, me, I changed my life. The better part of 2020, late 2020 and 2021, I was now deep in ministry. I went back to the Damaris that I knew. I went back to God, and He came closer to me. God started using me. And where I am today, I'm out here to tell women, it doesn't matter. Your 20 years marriage has broken. It doesn't matter. Your 5 years marriage has broken. Face life with courage. Because nothing, the Bible says nothing happens without a reason. Do you know, before the world was created, God knew that one day you'll experience such a life. And dhahabu ikitengenezwa, inapitishwa kwa moto, inakuwa dhahabu. You will not become that person that God wants you to be. You just not wake up one day and become someone without being prepared. I realized that God was preparing me. God was preparing me to inspire somebody outside there. And that's why I had to go through the fire myself. That God wanted to know, are you able to go through this fire? Are you able to be patient? Are you able to hold on me? Are you able still to be patient? Even at the point that you are feeling like nimekuacha. And I realized for sure, I should look at the positive side. You know, I started looking at the positive side. Nimeponea HIV. All along, kazi sijafuto. Niko na kazi. Hata kama the income is low. But God still loves me. I have something to give my son. I can pay school fees for my son. I can feed my son. I can feed myself, you know. Na nikaeka depression kando, madawa nikasema sikunywi tena. I remember at one point, yani nilikuwa so desperate mpaka naenda hospitali shingo limefura because of depression. Naenda hospitali daktari ananiambia eti HIV can also make you ufure shingo.
Oh my God.
And you know those frustrations. Sasa ushaambiwa it's because of HIV. Sasa unaona tu bado imejificha kwa mwili. But now I said no. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm torturing my body. I'm going to die. I'm going to leave this boy here. Who is going to take care of this boy? And in the process, I remember in 2021 February, I met this guy. Such an amazing soul. I was not open to relationships. I mean, kila mwanaume nikikutana na yeye namuona tu, it's just like my former, you know. I think huyu amekuja tu kunichezea, huyu amekuja kuni frustrate more. And then when this guy came, I noticed he's somehow different from the other men I've been meeting. You know, kawaida ya mwanaume anakuja na sweet words. But this one, he came straight away and he told me, Damaris, you know what? I want you for a wife. I'm tired of staying single. Nikamuuliza, how comes you are single? How? Such an handsome man, young man, why? Akanambia, nimepitia mambo mengi sana.
So you relate? We
relate in a way. Then we organized for a meeting. We met in an hotel, certain hotel in Mombasa. When we met, I told him, you know what, I have a dark past. Nikamuuliza, are you ready to listen to my dark past? And I know in the process, because nime-notice nikimwambia mwanaume about my HIV, hizo vitu zote zenye tulikuwa zimepita huko nyuma, most of them were getting scared of me. I think they thought maybe niko nayo, you know. But I told him,
my story, na kaniambia mi bora uko negative. I don't care about your past. Everybody has a past. Everybody has a past. Even me. I don't have a beautiful past. Past must be bad, you know. It is about you moving to another level na kuachana na past yako. So we shared, nikamwambia story yangu, akaniambia yake, zile mambo amepitia na mimi mambo nimepitia. And we agreed. After agreeing that we are going to be in a relationship, I told him the first date, we must go for a HIV test. Sitaki surprises. Sitaki. Nimetosha. It was only that. He said, fine. So we walking into a VCT. He was so confident. I was amazed. I've never seen a man who is confident to go for an HIV test. And we went. We were tested. And we both became HIV negative. And that's how our journey started. We started dating. On the way, I came to realize his uncle, his close uncle, is my client. Is somebody that I know I've been serving. I also realized he's working with a relative, a very close relative. They are working together. They even spend together at workplace. And I said, this is something that God had organized. So tulipitishwa mengi ndio tukikutana tuwe tumekomaa akili. And now I'm just out, Yvonne. Mimi tu niko tu niambie wadada. Niambie tu wamama. Don't stay in a bad, toxic relationship in the name of he will change. A bad man is a bad man. A narcissist is a narcissist. And change inatokana na mtu. Change inatokana na wewe mwenyewe. Nobody will change you, Yvonne, today. If you want to quit drinking, you want to quit certain bad behavior, it will start with you.
Yeah.
Nobody will come to change you. And so if you've tried many times, you've talked to this person and he's not changing, what else are you waiting for? You're waiting for heartbreaks every now and then. Now, quitting a relationship, being a single mother, doesn't make you less.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you a lesser person. It actually makes you a stronger person. And it doesn't mean you are a single mother, you will not get a lover in your life again. As I said, God uses those bad experiences so that when you get another relationship, you are in a position to nurture that person. You're in a position to handle that person better than how you did it previously.
And now, because you have a YouTube channel where you inspire people, please look to that screen, tell us the name of the YouTube channel, and then how people can support you in that YouTube channel. And then you're also a musician, a gospel musician. Tell them what to expect from your experiences, what kind of songs you sing. That's your screen. Talk to
Thank
our
you so
fans.
much. Let me say, I'm doing gospel music. I'm doing a lot of inspiration on all my social media accounts. You find on YouTube, Facebook. I'm also on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I'm still there, and I'm using the name Favor D Blessings. That is the name that I'm using on social media. And please rush there, subscribe. There's a lot of content. There's some good music there. Support me to spread this gospel and to spread even this inspiration to women and young girls. Actually, I'm telling young girls, do not rush to get married, Yvonne. Get married when you are mature enough. I got married when I was 22 years. I was still very naive. I knew nothing about relationships. I advocate for young girls to get married from 28 years and above. At that point, you are so mature, you know, you've gone through some relationship experiences. And before I forget, I want to tell mothers, not even mothers alone, even fathers, sit your children down. We are in a era that we don't want to hide everything to our kids. When a kid is talked to by their parents, they understand better than anybody else outside. Talk sex issues with your girls. during our time, our parents were not telling us about sex. I remember my mom was telling me, ukicheza na mwanaume utapata ukimwi hama mimba. Sit your kids down. Muongeleshe, umwambie mwanaume ni hivi, kama ni relationship mpimwe, mtumie protection, you know. Usikimbilie relationship namna hiyo. Na wazazi tuache kuogopa kuongea na watoto wetu. Let's talk to them. That is what I'm advocating for. Sex education must start from home. Tuache kuachia walimu kila kitu. Because huko nje mtawaambia ama utawaambia mtoto don't do this. Hiyo ndio kitu anaenda kutaka kujaribu.
Experiment.
Anataka kuexperiment. Hii mama ameniambia nisifanye. Ndio nini? Talk to them openly. Don't hide them. In case they are, I like my friend, there's a friend of mine who tells me, I sit my teenagers, my kids are, our kids are teenagers. Na wakalisha chini na nawaambia vizuri sana. You have a boyfriend? The guy says yes. You have a boyfriend? Make sure anytime you are tempted to have sex, you use protection. You go for HIV test. We just have to be open because these things are happening to our kids.
Yeah.
Let's not hide them.
All right.
And also for the married people, please try to be faithful. Try as much as you can to be faithful. You decided to get married. Kwa nini sasa unaenda kukua na relationship more than, I mean, even hatuwezi hesabu. Why are you cheating? If you got married, it means you got married to control your sexual behavior. So it is the high time people should understand that your health is your wealth. I always tell people, kama hauna afya njema, you can't even go look for wealth. You can't. So start by taking care of your health so that you can now create wealth.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, marriage is about the two of you. Again, marriage is beautiful. Marriage is beautiful. It is about the two of you. Nurture your marriage. Nobody else will come to nurture it for you. Not even your bishop, not even your parents, nobody else. It is about the two of you. And so I'm happy to say my story is having a very happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got married 2 months back by my boyfriend then. Now he's my husband. And
In a
he's
big
a great
wedding.
man. In a big wedding, of course, and a very
We'll
nice
show
one.
you the photos.
Yeah. I really appreciate, and I want to appreciate my husband because I've not seen a man who has really understood my past as he has. I've not seen a man who has shown me I'm of importance like he has.
That's nice.
Yeah, he has shown me that I'm still beautiful. You're a very great woman, and he has restored my self-esteem that was already gone. And he has loved my son with all what he is. He has loved my son, and I really appreciate him.
That's good.
And I want to pray that God restores our marriage and just builds it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we would like to thank you so much for opening up to us and telling us your experiences, however painful they might have been. And we thank you for coming all the way from Mombasa to just come and share these beautiful lessons that you have learned from your experiences and using those experiences to inspire people.
Sure.
So we appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much even for inviting me to come and share.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. That has been the story of Damaris. Thank you so much for staying with us till the end of the show. My name is Yvonne Kawira, and until next time, keep it to go.